Today, it's all about overcoming self-doubt. Self-doubt is something that's normal. Everyone has it. But it doesn't have to rule us. It doesn't have to control our actions. And like anything, we can practice overcoming that and develop the skill of overcoming self-doubt. And that is today's daily truths and weekly wins. I hope you enjoy it.
Self-doubt is that sneaky voice in the back of our minds that questions our abilities, undermines our confidence, and holds us back from reaching our true potential. Whether it's in our careers, personal lives, or fitness journeys, self-doubt can be a formidable barrier. But here's the good news. It's a barrier we can break through. Today, I want to talk a little bit or explore the nature of self-doubt, understand its triggers, and more importantly, discover powerful strategies to overcome it. We'll talk about how to shift our mindset, build our confidence, and silence that inner critic for good. But I wanted to take a moment before we get going. I am truly grateful for each and every one of you for tuning in and for your incredible support. Your stories, feedback, and engagement are what makes this podcast a community, and I couldn't be more grateful. Let's get ready to crush self-doubt and unlock our true potential. Trust me, by the end of this episode, you'll be equipped with practical tools and a renewed confidence to take on any challenge that comes your way. Let's kick things off by diving deep into understanding self-doubt. What exactly is self-doubt, and why does it have such a powerful grip on us? Self-doubt is essentially a lack of confidence in oneself and one's abilities. It's that inner voice that questions whether you're good enough, capable enough, or worthy enough to achieve our goals. I'm sure you've experienced that, and I have definitely experienced it, and it sometimes can be paralyzing, stopping us from taking the actions necessary to grow and succeed, questioning us, wondering. But it comes from a place of triggers. I think it's important that we understand where these triggers are so we can be in a better position to overcome self-doubt. Some common triggers that I'm going to cover here, starting with the most major trigger, is past experiences. If you've faced failure or rejection in the past, it's natural to carry those feelings forward. You might think, what if I fail again? Or what if I'm not good enough? These thoughts can become deeply ingrained and difficult to shake. Another big trigger is comparison. With our hyper-connected world, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others. Social media can be a highlight reel of other people's successes, making us feel like we're falling short in comparison. Remember, you're only seeing the surface, not the struggles and the setback that others face behind the scenes. And the last trigger is perfectionism. It's a huge culprit. The desire to do things perfectly can often lead to procrastination and self-doubt. We set unrealistically high standards for ourselves and then feel inadequate when we can't meet them. This creates a vicious cycle where self-doubt feeds on itself. It's also important to not forget the psychological impact of self-doubt. When we constantly doubt ourselves, it can lead to anxiety, stress, and even depression. It affects our decision-making, our relationships, and our overall quality of life. But here's the key point. Self-doubt is not a permanent state. It's a habit. And like any habit, it can be changed. One of the most powerful ways to combat self-doubt is by understanding that it's a normal part of the human experience. Everyone experiences self-doubt at times, even those who seem incredibly confident and successful. It's how we respond to self-doubt that makes all the difference. I want to take some time to explore practical strategies to overcome self-doubt and build an unwavering confidence. We'll talk about mindset shifts, positive affirmations, and other tools that you can implement to help you silence that inner critic and move forward with confidence. Let's talk about a mindset shift. The way we think about our abilities and potential has a massive impact on our actions and outcomes. This is where the concept of growth mindset comes in, coined by psychologist Carol Dweck. A growth mindset is the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through hard work, dedication, and learning from failure. Instead of seeing failure as a reflection of your abilities, see it as a valuable learning experience. Embrace challenges, persist in the face of setbacks, and see effort as the path to mastery. When you start viewing yourself as a work in progress, or as I like to say, progress, not perfection, rather than a finished product, you open the door to growth and resilience. Another powerful tool is positive affirmations. These are simple, positive statements that you repeat to yourself to challenge and overcome negative thoughts. For example, instead of thinking, I can't do this, you might say, I am capable and confident. I can handle whatever comes my way. It might feel a bit strange at first, but consistently repeating affirmations can help rewire your brain to think more positively about yourself. Let's try a quick exercise. Think about an area in your life where you often feel self-doubt. Now take a moment, create a positive affirmation that counters that doubt. Write it down and commit to repeating it to yourself every day. You'll be amazed at how this simple practice can shift your mindset over time. The next thing I want to talk about is something that I think I mention quite frequently, and it's the small achievable actions or goals. Let's talk about setting small achievable goals. Self-doubt often stems from feeling overwhelmed by the big picture. Breaking down your goals into smaller, more manageable steps can make them feel more attainable and less intimidating. Each small victory will build your confidence and propel you forward. Start by identifying a big goal you have, then break it down into smaller milestones. Focus on achieving these smaller steps one at a time. Celebrate your progress along the way. No matter how small it seems, these small wins will add up and boost your confidence to tackle bigger challenges. Small, consistent actions leads to massive results. Another thing I really like to do and has helped me a great deal is celebrating the small wins. Every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. By acknowledging and celebrating these small victories, you reinforce positive behavior and build momentum. It's important to recognize your efforts and give yourself credit for the progress you're making. This positive reinforcement can help counteract self-doubt and motivate you to keep going. And the last thing that's important, I think, is constructive feedback. Sometimes our self-doubt is fueled by distorted perception of our abilities. Getting feedback from trusted sources, people that you can count on to provide you honest feedback, can provide a more accurate perspective and highlight areas where you're actually stronger than you think. Be open to feedback and use it as a tool for growth, not as validation to your worth. I just want to recap a couple of huge tools here that you can implement to overcome self-doubt. 1, growth mindset. 2, the power of positive affirmations. 3, setting small goals. 4, celebrating small wins. And 5, seeking constructive feedback. These strategies, when practiced consistently, can help you overcome self-doubt and build lasting confidence. I'm adding a new section to the podcast as I, overcome my self-doubt and continue producing episodes. I'm getting some feedback and some questions. And I polled a few people that reached out with some questions about self-doubt, and I'm just going to go through them. I'm hoping that these will share some common experiences and, put some tactical actions that we can implement. So bear with me as I do this. This is a new section. I'm going to try to add it on each episode. Of course, it depends on the questions that you send in to me. So please do send all your questions in, and I'll do my best to answer them each episode. So the first question I have is, hi, Matt. I often find myself doubting my abilities at work, especially when I'm given new responsibilities. How can I build confidence in my professional skills? And this is a great question because doubting yourself in a professional setting is really common. And the way to work through that is some simple tips. Seek feedback. 1. Regularly ask for constructive feedback from colleagues and supervisors. This not only helps you improve, but also gives you an external perspective on your strengths. I think it's important that we lean into that feedback, where most of us tend to be kind of waiting for the feedback and then shocked if we get bad feedback or pleasantly surprised if we get good feedback. But I think if we seek out the feedback, we're in a better state to accept it and learn from it, good or bad. Number 2 is celebrate achievements. Celebrate the small wins. And this is something I do every day is I write down my wins for the day. And I think we need to acknowledge and celebrate our success, no matter how small. This reinforces your belief in your abilities. Number 3, continuously learning. Invest in your professional development through courses, workshops, and reading relevant materials. The more knowledge you have, the more confident you'll feel. Remember, confidence comes with practice and experience, so be patient with yourself. Great question. The next question I have is, I struggle with self-doubt in my personal life, especially when it comes to making decisions. How can I trust myself more? Trusting yourself is crucial, and it's something that can definitely be developed. Here's how. Past successes. Take some time and reflect on past decisions that turned out well. Reminding yourself of your successful choices can boost your confidence in your decision-making abilities. One that I think is super important, but I believe as we get a little bit older, we tend to lose connection to this, so it takes time. But that's listen to your intuition. Connect with your body. Self-doubt clouds our intuition. Practice listening to your gut feelings and trusting that inner voice. What's it saying? What are you feeling? Try to connect to those physical places in your body that is coming up and what it means to you. Seek advice, but decide independently. It's okay to ask others for advice, but ultimately make decisions that feel right to you. This builds your self-trust over time. The last one, self-compassion. Be kind to yourself, especially when decisions don't go as planned. Understand that making mistakes is part of the learning process. This is a way to develop your growth mindset. Learn from those mistakes. Not every decision we make is going to be a home run. Next question. Hey, Matt. I often compare myself to others, which fuels my self-doubt. Any tips on how to stop this? Comparison is indeed a thief of joy and can significantly impact your self-esteem. First and foremost, limit social media. If social media triggers comparisons, consider limiting your time on these platforms or curate your feed to follow accounts that inspire and uplift you. And this is something I've really practiced over the last probably 6 to 10 months, is really paying attention to using social media as a tool as opposed to entertainment. And so I look, of course, to connect with my friends that are on social media and share in their joy and their successes. But I also look for accounts that feed me information, that provide things that I can learn from. So I love to cook. So I make sure I get a lot of chefs and recipe stuff. I love inspirational quotes. So I always make sure to follow accounts that share emotional quotes, or sorry, inspirational quotes. I like to expand and grow my knowledge around coaching and relationships and self-improvement. So I make sure I follow accounts that provide that information. And so now when I go on social media, it's actually an opportunity to learn as opposed to, uh, you know, feel like I'm comparing myself. I can actually go there as a tool and learn from it. Next tip is focus on your journey. Remember that everyone's journey is unique. Focus on your personal growth and achievements rather than comparing yourself to others. Just like the social media, we don't want to get trapped into that comparison. Focus on where you're going. What is your horizon? What are your goals? Gratitude. Practicing gratitude for what you have and what you've accomplished can shift your focus from what you lack to what you're thankful for. This is huge, and you probably hear it everywhere. And gratitude can be practiced in many different ways. You can write about it in a gratitude journal. You can just reflect on it. You can just pause in the moment and say, wow, this is amazing. That is gratitude. And then celebrate other successes. That's another thing I mentioned with the social media is I want to celebrate people's successes. I want to feel that it's not a threat to me, but it's actually, if I can support their success, they'll support my success. And that is really important. This mindset shift can reduce feelings of envy and boost your own confidence. Plus, you're supporting your friends and your family and your colleagues in their success and helps them boost their confidence. Those are fantastic questions, and I really do appreciate you people. Check. These are some fantastic questions, and I hope the answers help you on your journey to overcoming self-doubt. Remember, self-doubt is something everyone experiences, but with the right strategies, you can build your confidence and trust in yourself. Please share any more questions you might have, and I'd be happy to answer them. You can submit in comments, send me an email, message me on social media. Wherever you send your questions, I promise to answer them. So, another new section that I'm going to put into the podcast is a weekly challenge. And I think this is just my way of challenging myself, honestly, and also challenging you, the listener, on implementing some of the tactical strategies that I've covered in the podcast for the topic that we're looking into. So, this is kind of our opportunity to put what we've just listened to into actionable steps to overcome self doubt. I'm hoping that this this week's challenge is kind of I set it up to help build confidence and start dismantling your self doubt. So here's what I want you to do. First part, identify your self doubt area. Take a moment and think about one specific area in your life where self doubt has been holding you back. It could be at work, your personal life, or even in your fitness or health journey. Then create a positive affirmation. Write down 3 positive affirmations that directly counteract the negative thoughts you have about this area. For example, if you doubt your ability to speak in public, An affirmation might be, I am confident and engaging speaker. Check. I am a confident and engaging speaker. I'll also leave a link in the description to my affirmation writing course, which will be free to all the listeners. So by all means, jump in and go through the course, and it'll help you write some affirmations around this self-doubt area that you've identified. 2. Check. The next thing is set a small goal. Set a small achievable goal related to this area of self-doubt. Make sure it's something you can accomplish within the week. If public speaking is your challenge, your goal might be to speak up in a meeting or practice a short speech in front of a friend or family member. Next, take action. Take the first step toward achieving this goal. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's important to take action. Use your positive affirmations to boost your confidence as you move forward. Then reflect and celebrate. At the end of the week, reflect on your progress, celebrate your efforts and any successes, no matter how small. Recognize that taking action is a victory in itself. So this challenge is all about building momentum and providing to yourself. Check. So this challenge is all about building momentum and proving to yourself that you can overcome self-doubt. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Check. Remember, it's progress, not perfection. Each small step you take is a step towards greater confidence and self-belief. I would love to hear your experiences with this challenge. Reach out to me on social media, send me an email, or leave a comment. I will personally respond to every one of you. And if you're interested, I'd love to interview you on the next podcast. So let's quickly recap what we covered today. We talked about the nature of self-doubt, strategies to overcome it, and heard some incredible insights from our special guest. We also answered your questions and set a challenge to help you take actionable steps toward building confidence. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please share your feedback, questions, comments, like and subscribe, and share it with anybody you think might be able to use the tactical strategies we put in place here to overcome self-doubt. Until next time, I look forward to seeing you. Check. Until next time, make it great. Check. Until next time. Thanks for joining me on the daily truths and the weekly wins. I hope today's episode leaves you inspired to embrace life's challenges and make the most of every day. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts and share this with someone who could use a little boost. Join me again tomorrow for more insights and encouragement. Until then, remember, progress, not perfection. Keep striving, keep growing.